That's really brutal, actually.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because he's the only mail-in ballot applicant in Mount Gretna.
There's two North Cornwall last
Therefore, you can identify how you voted.
I didn't know that. North Cornwall West.
I don't know.
Cornwall West.
Oh, yeah.
North Cornwall, you gotta make sure.
North Cornwall
North
West.
Cornwall West, so it's 26W.
Yeah, North Cornwall West.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's
Indicate that you
Republican,
have to list,
Democrat.
like, the columns.
Democrat.
Okay, I'll be right back. I'll have that up.
One second. So it's all we need results, you know?
Yeah, well, I remember when we did it in 20, because we wanted to show, we wanted to have a column for everyone who voted in person.
Yeah.
We had a column for every ballot that was provisional, and then we had a column for all the mail-in ballots. So there are 3 columns.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Unless we just somehow, I'm not sure how we anonymize that, if we're required to have all of that, if it's under 5, you know? Is there a rule? No, absolutely not. No. I'd like 4, not 5. Yeah. I don't know.
Because conceivably in the 6th ward, there were 2 Republicans. If, just say they both voted for Mastriano, well, then you would know how both of them voted too.
Right. Well, it could be anything. You could have 15 people that voted. If there's 15 votes for one
That's
candidate,
true.
we would know that they all, so, you know, where's the cutoff? I guess.
We're just trying to find ways to get rid of that 77.
Well, lobby the ones that voted against it to, you know, fight it.
You mean the ones who voted for it?
Nobody voted against it. Can't find those guys today, right?
There's not many of them. Well,
Yes,
they're all
I thought you
Philadelphia.
guys all that.
They're all Democrats.
No.
Thought you
No,
all
you would
that.
find somebody that.
Right?
I
So
don't
they
read the
were
whole
voting
day.
against it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 12:30 and leaving, and 4 picking up my mom, and
Anybody that was here.
How are you?
it's gonna rain.
Was not really,
Atlantic City.
Yeah,
I just wanted to clarify, I did speak with that person who did not bring a ballot in.
And I almost saw the floor. So I said, she didn't call me yet, but.
It's annoying, it's like a tight ship.
Yeah.
20th challenge was the secrecy, that one that secret.
Dawn, I know, I told you, Dawn,
So
how
there were
you
19
put in.
provisions of that.
I heard you talking
They had
about
to take it out.
They did?
Yeah, she's bleeding, it did something to her esophagus. So she took it out. She took a lot of nerve pills, so it would be scary. And they said, go ahead and take it out. So they don't know what's gonna happen.
Okay, ready to reconvene.
So this goes back.
Let's keep it rejected. Yeah, really.
We're down to 1 attorney, so that's we're getting there.
Only going up.
I'd like to reconvene our meeting, come out of recess, and we'll ask for direction from Sean for where we go next.
All right, we're going to address next the undated mail-in ballots. We did not have many. We had 10 total. The number has dropped from what we initially reported because when we went through them, you can see that some were missing secrecy envelopes. We just didn't notice it at first because we didn't open them. But you can see when you pick it up that the secrecy envelopes were missing. So that leaves only 10 left. And under the new state guidelines, we would accept those but segregate them. We're actually going to run those through the machines as an entirely separate election, if you will, so that the results are tabulated officially but are not mixed in with the main counts. It's a lot of work for 10 ballots. But then we'll have both, and depending on how things go legally here in the next week, we'll know what to do with them. We can combine them or not.
Okay. Does anyone want to put forth a motion? This is a little bit of a gray area for me personally, but because the state law is not clear, or it's clear that they shouldn't be counted. Now we're getting advice from the Department of State that says we should accept. So I'd accept a motion, then we can go from there.
Make a motion to approve process outlined as shown presented.
And I'll second the motion.
Okay, is there any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Aye. So it's a split vote, 2-1.
All right, so if, post-meeting, if you want me to walk through that explanation a little bit further, how we'll handle that, because it is a little confusing, I'm happy to spend some time on that too.
When do you plan to do that? When do you plan to do that?
We got to set up the machine here in the next 24 hours and do it so it's out of the way before we start the recount, which is not on the agenda, but we should probably at least mention today. As soon as possible. There's a lot going on at once. So then we only have the secrecy envelope questions. Again, there were, the count's very small because when you cut through all the combined issues, there were only 4 straight ballots that had secrecy envelopes, that only had secrecy envelope issues. 2 were signed, so very easy, can't accept those. That only leaves 2, 1 military, 1 non-military ballot where there's any markings. We already addressed this one, said secret. The second ballot, I didn't bring the envelope with me, but it just indicated, I apologize, my mail-in ballot was rained on and it was a wavy envelope. That was all it was. So no indication of the person's identity or voting. So I'd recommend that we accept those 2. All the others that will have to go.
Make a motion to accept the military and non-military mail-in ballots that were marked on the secrecy envelope, however, did not release the name of the individual voting.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. I have a question. We already did vote on the 1 secrecy ballot that was challenged, so
That's true. Yeah, that is an important point. Yes,
we would be only voting really, or needing to vote on the 1.
on the 1. You're right. You're right.
So
Thank you. It's a good catch.
are you willing to amend your?
I'm willing to amend my motion to be approving the count of 1 unmilitary ballot.
Second that.
Okay, that sounds better. Any discussion, questions? All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign, so moved.
All right. Then finally, we have your military ballots here. You've already opened and approved military ballots last week. We, though, now have to go through the canvassing procedure where we put the ballots onto ballot pieces of paper so that we can now pass them to the machines.
Okay.
So, on advice of our
Pat?
Pat Nace, I'd recommend that Mike fills these in, not myself, and that both of you witness as he does so.
He has
That way
his
we keep it
glasses
on the
on,
board.
so he's good to go. So, understanding what we're doing, we're replicating,
So you're recreating the military ballot?
yes, so that
They
they,
can be scanned into the vote.
so they're scannable, yep. And Mike's gonna do them, and then we have 1 Republican and 1 Democrat to witness that they're correct.
Now, if you're wondering why there's so much paperwork, we printed out an extra copy of every ballot just in case you made a mistake. Not that you would do that, but just in case.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
While he's doing that, can I make something for the record, is that I know everybody was out of the room, but I stayed and did not leave those ballots unattended. So I'd like to make that note.
I'm so sorry.
I said, I just want to, on the record, that I stayed and those ballots were never unattended, that were left on the table when everyone had to go out.
Thank you. So Chris, does this mean you get to add election law to the LinkedIn?
Yeah, I should just put it right next. They keep adding practice areas to my side.
Sean,
So
am I missing something?
Pat told the other day, said
Of the county commission.
Sean should not be the one doing that's why we're redoing these, to put the circles in, you know, and have us be the reviewers and an independent, to make it a little bit more objective.
Yeah, while we have time here, I'd just like to ask one other question. On election day, we swore in everybody at one time. Today, everybody was sworn in individually. Is that a requirement, or was that just, how did that get
That's a great
changed?
question. It's two entirely different processes. So like we're being sworn in as a group because we're canvassing. So we're being sworn in our official capacity. What the judges were being sworn in was they were offering factual testimony on individual ballots in a public hearing. So different.
The guidance that
categories.
we got, this is the first time we've ever had to do this in my time, so it was new terrain. We're having a stenographer recording it.
Yeah, and where did these guidelines come from was my question.
I don't know.
Dave?
Dave, okay.
Yeah, Dave's counsel.
All right, I was wondering who determined how that, because I wasn't part of any decision, and that's why I wondered how it was determined.
It was there's a little bit of just going to Dave and asking him to
Okay.
offer advice on how best to
Yeah,
manage it.
I just needed clarity on that. Thank you.
You know, 'cause we're a little confusing
was-
because
you're on the first one.
they're not in the same exact order.
Yep, so
You know,
make sure you're gonna-
the specific races, positions.
So the military got their ballots before we had final ballots even approved or finalized. So they had sample ballots that had, because they have to be sent out by certain dates. So if you
Okay.
remember with the state pushing all the timeline back, they didn't change the date the military had to get ballots. So they literally got the ballots before you saw them.
Sure.
So they approved. So they're not going to look exactly the same. You have to be careful to look at the precinct is correct, the party's correct,
Well, can we just see if the
Candidates.
name of the candidate is
and
correct?
the candidates.
Would you mind reading, if you read the candidate's name,
Yeah.
I'll see if it's correct.
Yeah. For each race.
In other words, if you say John Fetterman, then I see, yep, that's,
Okay.
and I'll find it on the ballot.
Yeah, but then I'm not checking it. I mean,
Well, you can check it. I'll find it and you can look at it and see that it's circled in.
okay.
It should still work with.
Under the absentee mail-in for United States Senator John Fetterman,
Yes.
representative in Congress.
You just have to read the name that's circled. That's the vote. We just want the vote. We don't need,
Representative in Congress. You're at governor, and I'm telling you representative in Congress.
yeah, I'm looking for a name so I can find the name on this. Give me the name of the who they're voting for.
Amanda Waldman.
Okay, yes.
And here's the heading that says representative in Congress. Okay. And Governor Josh Shapiro.
Yes,
Lieutenant Governor Brian Sims.
yes,
State Senator Calvin Clements. Representative in the 101st General Assembly Catherine Miller. Members of the Democratic State Committee Calvin Clements and Cornell Wilson.
okay.
Member of the Democratic Committee Ellie Salahub.
Okay. Do you want to take that one as completed and
That's a good idea.
segregated?
We'll be seeing a lot more of each other next week.
Do you need more paper clips?
Are you
I
go-
think I might.
Are you go-
Suzanne has them all done. I think we're good.
How are you gonna schedule, or are you gonna present us with some options for scheduling?
Yeah. Right now, at this stage, all we've lined up is moving the machines over. I can guess where we'll probably be meeting, I'm hoping. I have to talk to Dawn again.
I'm going from here to the mayor.
Okay.
Okay. Would you like me to read them and then you check them, or how would you like to do it?
North Cornwall West. Federal John Fetterman, U.S. Senate. Amanda Waldman, Congress. Josh Shapiro, Governor. Brian Sims, Lieutenant Governor. Calvin Clements, State Senator. General Assembly 101, Catherine Miller. State Committee, Calvin Clements and Cornell Wilson. Democratic Committee, Ellie Salahan.
Oh, I give you both copies, so sorry, you just.
You gave two, but
Do you want
this is
a clip for
Oh,
that?
did I?
I don't
have the wrong one. Okay. Put that to the bottom of the pile, we'll go print out another one for you. Good catch. That's what Terra North Republican. There you go. So I need the Republican version though.
Yeah, do that, right?
Is it?
So we'll like I said, maybe I'm not rushing the process. We can start as early as tomorrow, but we'll get the
You have
machines
one.
over here tomorrow. Start organizing things wherever we set up, and
What time do you plan on starting tomorrow, so we know what time to be here?
so we're just going to bring the machines in tomorrow and start organizing, so you guys don't have to worry about tomorrow. We'll start after Memorial Day.
And you have to advertise this, right? Or not?
I emailed Dave about that, and we are able to just post it in the building,
Oh, okay,
and we'll throw it up on our website too.
okay.
Because at this point, the process would start 2 or 3 days before legal notices would be published.
Yes, I know.
And this is for the recount?
Thanks, Mike.
And you say we don't have to be here?
No,
you do.
he's setting up the machines.
Oh,
We're bringing the machines in tomorrow.
I was gonna say,
It'll
I
take us
would
a-
not stand for that.
Oh my gosh, we wouldn't, none of us would. Integrity first. All right, let's do this.
All right. This would be Swatara North. In the Senate, U.S. Senate, Mehmet Oz.
Just
Governor Lou Barletta.
right here.
Barletta. Lieutenant Governor Russ Diamond.
Extra.
Congress Dan Musser. Senate in the General Assembly of Pennsylvania, Chris Gebhardt. The 102nd District, Russ Diamond. And State Committee, Russ Diamond.
I think you know that this is Russ's wife's ballot.
That's all.
That's all they're allowed to vote.
She voted for him 3 times. Whoever it was.
So that's a federal voter, so they had to have their certain sections blocked out.
Cornwall North. Kathy Barnett for U.S. Senate. And Dan Musser for Representative in Congress. That's it. Oh, yeah. That's because it's a full ballot, but this one only has 2 ballots, or 2 different offices.
I'm sure. I will take one of those paper clips. One of those extra clips if you have one.
Yes, here.
Just between there
You want
and
to
here.
catch it, or should I carry it over?
That's fine.
Good job. Swatara North. Dave McCormick in the Senate. Lou Barletta in the Governor. Russ Diamond in Lieutenant Governor. Dan Musser in Congress. Chris Gebhardt in the Senate is not filled in, he didn't fill in the back.
Oh,
This has to go back to the drawing board.
it's all right. Voters do it too.
I was just testing you, Joel.
You were testing me.
You passed.
I passed, okay, A+ today.
And the voting machine would test you. We'd also catch it and warn you. The tabulator, so,
What, that you undervoted or?
yep, it would indicate it and warn the voter.
Yeah, I got it. Thanks for the catch.
Okay, we're continuing with Swatara North. Chris Gebhardt in the Senate, Russ Diamond in the General Assembly, and under State Committee, it would be Russ Diamond, William Doherty, Danette Quarioli, Don Blouck, and Ron Ferrance. I just didn't see the last one. I forgot.
Since the election, like, what am I like after our last meeting. Not that it did, but just in like the middle of the night is one of those like bizarre thoughts.
There should be bids. There should be bids. Provisional approved, provisional denied. We should never be together.
Okay, this one is Bethel Fredericksburg. And under U.S. Senate, Malcolm Kenyatta, and Governor Josh Shapiro, and Lieutenant Governor Austin Davis, and under Federal Congress, Amanda Waldman, Senator Calvin Clements, Laura Quick for the General Assembly, Cornell Wilson for State Committee. No one was voted for in the county committee. And we are in East Hanover Township. U.S. Senator Connor Lamb, Congress Amanda Waldman, Governor Josh Shapiro, Lieutenant Governor Brian Sims, State Senator Calvin Clements, Representative in Assembly Laura Quick, State Committee Laura Quick and Cornell Wilson, and no one was voted for in this county committee. Okay.
Just be good to know.
Oh, I have it. I have the screen back on my desk. I can bring it.
It's a great question. Just as one more clue in a little mystery.
Yeah. Sure.
So you adopted the description of your work as sleuthing, huh? Caught that? Yeah, I caught that.
That's what she's been doing.
You know, it is a lot of,
That one record was, wow, what a mess. But it's one record.
yeah.
You know, I mean, it's unacceptable that it happens, but
I didn't ask this question because wasn't sure if you would have had an answer, but the other record that was merged with it, was that a legitimate person that it overlapped, so we just needed to,
I'm going to go get it.
I don't need, I'm
You
we're
don't
good.
need to know?
No, I just was curious if it was a, you know, some kind of a goof,
Did the other person vote? No, okay. All right, we are to Union Lickdale, and under Senator, we have John Fetterman, Governor Josh Shapiro, Lieutenant Governor Ray Sousa, Federal Congress Amanda Waldman, Senator in the state Calvin Clements, General Assembly Laura Quick,
I think it's, General Assembly.
pardon?
You said senator in the state, it's General Assembly if it's Cal Clemens. Is that what it has there? Is that senator?
State is up here, I just read the word state.
Okay.
Laura Quick in the General Assembly and State Committee, Laura Quick. No one in the county committee.
Yeah. Driver's license.
And here we have Union Lickdale again. In the U.S. Senate, John Fetterman, Josh Shapiro for governor, Lieutenant Governor Ray Sousa, Federal in Congress Amanda Waldman,
Yes.
State Senator in the General Assembly Calvin Clements, Laura Quick for General Assembly, and Laura Quick for Democratic Committee, no write-ins for County Committee.
You still sell flowers at the market?
Maybe in the back,
Yeah, I think so.
the back entrance.
I don't know anymore, because they were in and out a couple of times.
I think it better bring flowers with me this time. This is the third extension we're asking for that room.
West Cornwall, John Fetterman, United States Senate, Josh Shapiro, Governor, Brian Sims, Lieutenant Governor, Amanda Waldman in Congress, and Calvin Clements in the State General Assembly. We have Catherine Miller in the, I call it the House, but the General Assembly. Calvin Clements and Cornell Wilson as State Committee, and we actually have 3 votes for Democratic Committee. Ronald Bugard, Marilyn Bugard, and Amanda Mooser.
Congratulations. Sure, military ballots.
Okay.
So that's what's on the agenda. But while we're assembled, if you have any questions about next week, oh, you know what, before I say that, the numbers, where we stand versus other counties, if you're curious, we have some counties as low as 0, undated, but signed envelopes for mail-in ballots, as low as 0. I was shocked. Franklin County, which mimics us very closely in almost all the demographics and voter numbers, had 9. We had 10. And then that was pretty consistent across the state with medium-sized counties, about exactly what we had. So that made me feel a lot better. The high number was Philadelphia, and it was, wow, they had so many. They had so many that were affected by that. So, but otherwise, it's all single digits to maybe 20, except for one county.
You know, and mine was purely on, after talking with you and Dave and others, you know, when it's the Pennsylvania state law is still this, but you're getting direction from Department of State that says you should be doing it this way. That's why I sort of, you know, it's kind of a whatever, but that's why this thing is so hard to follow. You know, you're getting
It's confusing. And where we're gonna be in 7 days from now versus where we are today, we'll probably have a lot more direct, like solid concrete direction with this. And it's gonna probably almost certainly be where we are going anyway. But I hear you, like we have deadlines we gotta meet still. And this stuff is coming in before the deadline. It's a tough judgment call. I hear you.
Chris, do you see anybody challenging, let's go into recess so I can get the camera off me here. Are we finished?
Just if you wanted to cover anything for next week ahead of time, it doesn't have to be informal.
Does anybody have any?
Nothing.
Are we going to discuss business though that could be voted upon and we can't go
I'm not
into-
discussing it with you two, I'm asking Chris a question.
Yeah. I was just gonna, if you have any updates, if you would
No,
require
before-
any updates for next
She's
week.
asking, are we gonna discuss anything after after we,
We're ready to recess.
Sure.
I am.
motion to recess?
Yeah.
Okay.
29.
The 102 that came in